Hi Amanda, here's your Unit 6 Assignment 3, and I just wanted to go over a few things with you on it. You're doing it correctly, and you're starting out by factoring. And in the first few questions, I just want you to pay more attention to the form that you're using. You should always have one equal sign in each line of your solution for problems like this. So you need to continue with the equals 0 here. Don't write it in interval form like that, please, because that means something different, and that can be confusing when you start to use that form for something else. So what I'd like for you to do now is, after this line, I would like for you to just say, therefore, x equals minus 1, or x equals 4, and is the final line of your solution, and that's your final answer, okay? So for the second question, same thing, equals 0, x equals 5 is the only solution because both factors were the same there. Now for question 3, I think you forgot something here. There's an x in here, or maybe not. Let me check on that. Sorry, my mistake. There's no x there. So you've done that correctly. Take the 8 over to the other side. If you square root both sides, x equals the root of 8, so x equals 2 root 3. The thing that's missing here is that we should usually have 2 roots, and when you take the square root, you have to consider that, for instance, if you're taking the square root of 25, the square root is 5, or the square root is minus 5, because both of those numbers, if you square them, will give you an answer of positive 25. And so when you take the square root, you have to always remember to include both the positive and the minus roots, and that's what gives you the 2 answers for these problems. Now, if you do number 4 in a similar way, if we take the square root of both sides, we would get x plus 4 equals the square root of 8. And then you can solve by taking x equals the square root of 8 minus 4, and then continue to simplify that. So that's what we do there if it didn't factor. Number 4 is correct. Just take out the interval notation line, and you want to make sure that the form matches what we talked about in number 1. Same thing with number 5. Sorry, that's number 5, this is number 6. The writing is small, it's hard to see. And here you've missed a root. 3x minus 1 equals 0, so x equals 1/3, that's correct. Oh, I'm sorry, here it is. X minus 2 equals 0, so x equals 2. Good. We don't need this, all right? And for number 7, if this one doesn't factor, then that's correct to say not factorable. And in the next section, you're going to learn how to work with equations and still find a root even if you can't factor them. So for the last 3 questions, you're correct that 8 and 10 will not factor. And again, you'll learn how to solve those in the next section. And number 9, you did perfectly. If you divide both sides by 8, take the square root, and then you remembered your plus and minus roots there, your positive and negative roots. Just leave out this interval notation, and you did a great job. So excellent work, Amanda. Keep up the good work. You're getting very close to the end of the course. I'm really impressed by all the work that you guys are doing. Well done.